everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down a really simple but powerful question that can totally change the game when it comes to innovation. It's a tool that helps turn those stubborn problems into some really exciting opportunities.
You've probably been here before, right? You've done all the research, you've talked to users, you know their pain points inside and out, and then you just hit a wall. There's this massive gap between knowing what the problem is and actually knowing where to even start designing a solution. So how do you make that jump? So first, let's talk about the problem with problems. Just identifying a pain point isn't enough to get the creative juices flowing. A lot of the time, it's actually a dead end.
Yeah, that now what moment. It can be absolutely paralyzing. You're sitting there with this mountain of incredible insights, but you feel like you have no clear path forward. The problem just feels way too big or too vague, and it's not sparking any real actionable ideas.
So how do we build that bridge from all that research over to the world of ideas? Well, this is exactly where design thinking comes in. There's a whole stage built just for this, and it's called the define stage.
The whole point of this stage isn't just to repeat the problem, it's all about reframing it. So instead of just saying, users are confused, we want to turn that into a design challenge that practically begs for new solutions. This is the move that turns a boring fact into a creative opportunity. And the tool, the key that unlocks this whole thing, is a really simple but powerful kind of question. It's called the how might we question. You'll probably hear people call it HMW for short.
Okay, so what is it exactly? Well, a how might we question is basically a carefully worded prompt that's designed to launch your team straight into brainstorming. And here's the most important part. It's not looking for one single correct answer. Nope. It's an open invitation to come up with tons of different possibilities.
This is its superpower, really. It takes a user need, something like, I'm so frustrated with this confusing checkout process, and it completely flips it into a launchpad for new ideas. It's a simple little shift in words, but it changes everything.
And all that power is packed into just these 3 little words. I mean, think about it. How suggests that there are solutions out there. Might gives you permission to explore, to throw out wild ideas without judgment. And that makes it a team sport right from the get-go. It's just optimistic, it's open, and it's all about working together.
All right, so we know what it is. We know why it's so powerful. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do you actually write a good one? A great how might we question? It's like a perfect launchpad for your ideas. It makes sure everyone on the team is aiming for the same target. It gives you just enough structure to keep the ideas focused. And then it's the thing that ignites the creative engines and gets that brainstorm really flying.
And here's something you absolutely have to remember. You can't get this wrong, seriously. The whole point is just to explore. So don't get hung up on trying to write the one single perfect HMW question on your first try. That is not the goal here. In fact, a great way to think about it is that your HMW questions are like little prototypes themselves. Just try framing a few different versions of the question. Then set a timer, like 5 minutes, and just brainstorm on each one. See which one gets the best ideas flowing. The one that generates the most exciting stuff? Boom, that's your winner. Go with that one.
Okay, so to really nail this, let's look at a super handy tool that can help you frame these questions in just the right way to guide your team's energy where you want it to go. Take a look at this. We'll call it your verb toolkit. The verb you pick completely changes the focus of your brainstorm. For example, if your goal is just to know more, you might ask, how might we describe the user's journey? But if your goal is to actually create something, you'd ask, how might we design a totally seamless user journey? See that difference? One is for analysis, the other is for invention. So you can really think of these verbs as a compass for your creativity. Picking a verb from that create column points your team directly towards building and imagining new solutions. Picking one from the know column sends you on a mission to analyze and define. It gives your whole ideation process a really clear direction.
And that's pretty much it. A super simple question that builds that crucial bridge between research and creation. So now you've got this powerful tool. The only question left is, what's the first challenge you're going to go out and redefine?